Okay, so tomorrow is a special occasion here at my house because my mother will be retiring and it's also her birthday. So we are going to have a little family lunch and I'm going to harvest some of my collard greens for dinner. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some of these and then we're going to prepare the collard greens for dinner for tomorrow as well. So I'll show you what happens after this. Hey guys, this is Chrissy. So as I mentioned earlier, tomorrow is a special occasion for us here in my house. It's my mom's retirement and her birthday. So I just want to take you along with me and show you some of the dishes that I'm making that are low carb. It is possible to have special occasions. As you know, they're going to come up, but it's still possible to have some low carb options as well, in addition to the carby stuff that you'll serve to some of your guests. So what I'm doing now is I've harvested my greens and I'm getting ready to clean them and to cut them up. So what I've done is I put some cold water in the sink, and then I'm going to pour some vinegar in the sink, and then I'm just going to set the greens in and let them get nice and clean and wash them, and then I'll come back in a second and show you the next step after they're cleaned. But again, I'll just add a little bit of vinegar, add the greens, let them sit for about 10-15 minutes, wash them really good, and then we'll get to the next step. So now I'm getting ready to start the broth for the greens. So the greens are still sitting and soaking and washing. And so now I'm going to use my pressure cooker. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a smoked turkey drumstick. And you'll also see some chicken bouillon, garlic powder, pepper, and onion powder. And what you see right here is I've added a little bit over 2 cups of water, and I added some of the chicken broth. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that liquid into the pressure cooker. And then what I do is, honestly, after I put this broth in, then I'll add more water to it, and then I'll get the flavor exactly the way I want it, because the flavor that you create right now is what the greens will taste like. So it's really important when you're making your greens to get the broth to the flavor that you're looking for, because if you have good broth, you can have good greens. So I'm gonna work on that, and then we'll come back a little bit later. Bye. Okay guys, so I'm back. So inside the pressure cooker, I have the smoked turkey and the broth. And so I've seasoned it and I've gotten it exactly where I want it. And so now what I'm gonna do is set the pressure cooker for, I like to set mine for about 1 hour and 20 minutes, because I really like to have it where the smoked turkey just falls right off the bone in the greens. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that, and after that is done, then I'll add the greens. So I'll come back in a little bit. Bye. Okay, so I'm back. Now we've gone through the steps of harvesting our greens, cleaning our greens. We've also started they call it pot liquor, but we've started the broth for the greens with the smoked turkey, so that's cooking. And now I'm going to take the greens, and this is how I separate my greens. I don't like to keep the rough stem in the greens, so you're gonna see how I do that. I pretty much get rid of all that stem, so when I cook the greens, they're softer and more tender. So this is basically all I do. I just go down the stem of the green, and I cut all of that out, because I don't like it. Some people might like it. They might feel like it's more nutrients in it. But for me, I think it's a little bit too tough. So I get that out of the middle of the green, cut that out. And literally I do this for all of them. I use and I just throw the stem in there. I pretty much just cut it in half. And then I just start stacking my greens up here as I clean them. And so I'll do it one more time. Very simple. I just go through, and then sometimes I'll just double them to make it faster. Go through, get rid of that stem, pull that out, put it in half, and then I just go ahead and do all my greens that way. And then after that, once the the smoked turkey is done. I add my greens to the pressure cooker, and it goes pretty quickly. But now I'm gonna go ahead and just start doing that with the greens, and I will come back in a bit. Okay, so here's the next step. I've gone through all the greens, I've cut all the stems out, and then what I do is I stack the greens. As you see, I cut them almost pretty much in half. I stack a whole bundle of them, and I roll it almost like you're rolling maybe an egg roll or sushi roll. So then I roll it like this, because what I'm gonna do now is cut it so when I cook them, the greens are nice bite sizes. So then I take the greens and then I just start cutting them like that. So as you see, they begin to, they're more in strips and easier to eat. So this is what I do for the greens. And then as I cook them, when I put them into the pressure cooker, they're more in strips versus big wide leaves of greens. So now I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna cut up all the greens just like this and get ready for the next step. So just wanted to show you that. Bye. Okay, so here's what we have. I've cut up all the greens and rolled them and sliced them like I showed you previously. And this is basically one container with all those greens. This is what it came down to. So it'll definitely be enough for dinner for tomorrow for the family, but just wanted to show you what that bundle of greens looks like at the end when I cut them all. Okay, bye. Okay, so the smoked turkey is done and it's nice and tender. And so what I've done is I've added the greens to the pressure cooker. But there was one secret ingredient that I forgot to add earlier that I've already added, and it's slap ya mama. Slap ya mama. This is, it has a kick to it, and when you just add, don't add too much, but just add a little bit to that broth, and it just really accentuates the positive where these greens are concerned. So I added a little bit of that, and now I'm going to stir the greens down into the broth, turn the pressure cooker back on for about 25 minutes, and we'll see how they look at that point. I don't, again, as I mentioned before, I don't like to overcook my greens. So I'm gonna go for about 25 minutes and we'll see how that goes. Okay, bye. So here we go. Here's the final product. I cooked the greens for about 25 minutes in the pressure cooker, and they turned out really good. The flavor is awesome. Some people might think, what, 25 minutes only to cook greens? You have to cook those greens for hours and hours, but I like them this way. I like them to have a little bit of a bite, and I like to make sure when I cook them, they still keep their nutrients and not overcook them. And so this is the final product. We'll have them tomorrow for dinner, but just went ahead and cooked them in advance. But as you can see, the smoked turkey is falling off the bone. I've already taken it off the bone and put it in this container, and they still have a nice vibrant green color, which I really like that too. So here we go. Here's the final product, and I'm very happy with the results. So see you soon. Bye.